as instruments to impose dependence on all of society. Here's how their plan works. They deliver these gratis copies to the school teaches the students to use them, and the students develop a dependence on this product. And then they graduate. And after they graduate, the same developer does not offer them gratis copies. Oh no. And some of them get jobs, and they work for companies. The developer does not offer those companies gratis copies. Oh no. It's only the first dose that's gratis. Once you're dependent, then you have to pay. So these gratis copies of proprietary software are like gratis needles full of addictive drugs. The first dose is gratis, but the whole point is to make people dependent. The school would reject those drugs. The school would say, no thanks, we don't want to inject these drugs into our students. We won't pay for them, and we won't accept them if they're gratis, because that's wrong education. It's against our mission. The schools have a social mission, which is to educate good citizens of a strong, capable, independent, cooperating, and free society. In the computing field, that means teaching people to be free software users, graduating people who are ready to participate in a free society, and thus working against the propagation of dependence. Now, some people say the school should teach people everything that they're going to find out there, so let's teach them free software and proprietary software. That's like saying students, when they grow up, will find whiskey and water out there, so let's give them whiskey and water in the school lunch so they can get to know both. No, this is wrong, because the school is supposed to teach good habits. It's not supposed to teach people to get drunk. So, the schools, should I wait for you to return? The third reason why schools should teach only free software is for education of the best programmers. Some people have a special talent for programming. They are natural-born programmers. These people, typically at the age of 10 to 13, become fascinated with computers, and they want to learn how everything works. But when these kids ask the teacher, how does this program do this? If it's proprietary, the teacher can only respond, I'm sorry, we can't find out, it's a secret. A proprietary program is knowledge withheld. It's the enemy of the spirit of education. So it should not be tolerated in a school. A proprietary program essentially is a symbol of refusal to educate. It's the wrong thing to be in a school. But if the program is free, the teacher, I presume it would be the IT teacher that they ask, can explain whatever he knows, and then say, here's the source code. Read it and you'll understand everything. And they're fascinated, so they'll read it. They yearn to understand how such a thing can be done. Then, the teacher can tell them, if you come, well, before they actually go away, the teacher can tell them, if you come across any point you have trouble figuring out by yourself, show it to me and we'll figure it out together. This gives our natural-born programmer the chance to learn a crucial lesson if that person is to become a good programmer. And that is, this code, which even you couldn't figure out, is not well written. It's not well written because it's not clear enough. Don't write things that way. You see, natural-born programmers are very clever. So they can write lots of code that will work in the sense of doing the intended job. But it's not good code because it's too hard for other people to understand. So in order to become good programmers, they have to learn not to do that. They have to learn to recognize what they shouldn't do. way they learn that is by encountering it hundreds of times, different things that are not clear, and then they learn those things are not clear, don't write it that way. How do you learn to write good, clear code? You learn it by reading lots of code and writing lots of code. How are you going to get to read lots of code? Only free software gives people the chance to read the code of large programs that we really use. And then, how are you going to write lots of code? How are you going to write code for large programs? Before you can write large changes to large programs, you need to write small changes to large programs. Only free software gives you the chance to start writing changes in large programs that we really use. So, the way people can learn to be, with the talent, can learn to be good programmers is with free software. And any school can offer this opportunity to those students who have this gift, but only if it's a free software school. But there is a deeper reason, the last reason, for moral education, education in citizenship. Schools have to teach facts and skills, but even more important, they have to teach the spirit of goodwill, the habit of helping others. Therefore, every class should have the following rule, formally and in practice. Students, if you bring software to class, you may not keep it for yourself. You must share copies with the rest of the class, with everyone who wants a copy. And that must include the source code, because in case someone here would like to learn, because this class is a place where we share our knowledge. In order to set a good example, the school has to follow its own rule. It must only bring free software to class, and it must share copies, including source code, with anyone in the class that wants a copy. You, as an individual, don't have an obligation